What is up, everyone? Please take a second to hit that like button. The more likes that we get in a short period of time, the more people the algorithm will bring into the chat to come hang out with us and see what's going on. So please hit that like button. What is up, everyone? Please let me know how you're doing. Just give me a second so I can get all these notifications out and all the startup stuff. Old man Walter, he's already 7 minutes late. What's up, American Hillbilly? Andrew Potter, Miss Jamie. What is up, everyone? What's up to the one viewer on Twitch? Thanks for being here. What's up, Musket? Appreciate you being on Odyssey. What's up to the 12 people on Rumble? I appreciate you guys being here. What is up, everyone on Facebook? Thank you guys for being here. I didn't expect the chat to be filled up like that. I appreciate you guys. So what do you guys expect for this little speech here? I think what's going to happen is we're going to hear some lying and crying. Maybe a little bit of blame on Trump. Some threats against those that ain't got the jab yet. Probably a story about something his dad told him 300 years ago. Probably some stammering, some stumbling, some hardcore blinking like he's glitching out. He's not going to take any questions, and he's going to run away as fast as he can. You would think somebody that stammers that much wouldn't be able to run. I expect a high-paced shuffle out of him. But he can run. Boy's a track star. It's just that's my thoughts. That's what I'm guessing. That's what I got my bet on today. Yeah, deplorable patriot. China's like openly telling Taiwan, don't expect the U.S. to defend you guys. It's kind of rough. It's kind of rough. The way stuff is going in Afghanistan. Not really surprised that they're saying stuff like that. Have you guys seen all the videos coming out saying that stuff ain't real? All that footage we see coming from Afghanistan is not real. The planes are inflatable and blah 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 blah. I think stuff's being blurred. I don't know if that's a bunch of Q crap or what that is. Maybe it is a psyop. Maybe it's not a psyop. I don't know. Everything's being blurred now. I can never tell if your name is Emily or Emile. But yes, Rumble is up. We are currently on Rumble. Big shout out to everyone watching on Rumble. The Dolos, yes. Expect the false flags. They've already started. Like whatever happened at the White House. They're saying that that's a Q thing. And I think it's also, I think they also said he's a Trumper. I don't know. We kind of knew that was coming. They've already put dates out that they're expecting stuff to happen. I don't want to say any trigger words, but the government keeps putting out stuff like, oh yeah, on this day we think something's going to happen. On this day we think something's going to happen. Well, yeah, if you guys set it all up, pretty sure you're setting your own schedule there. You're just saying it out loud. What's up, WMM? Robert with the Tennessee. You talking about the executive order that got put out and how they're openly talking about their, well, they don't call it a green zone, but that's what the CDC calls it. About 3 hours ago, southern Michigan, south on US 31, National Guard has been spotted heading north. Multiple vehicles from what I've heard. A lot of people are speculating that they're coming to Camp Grayling, which is about 20 minutes from me. His information has come out saying that they have a green zone over there too. If you guys aren't a part of the Discord, definitely join the Discord. So much information and conversation going on right now. If you're not part of the Discord, you definitely should be. The Discord is a free app that you download on your phone. You come to any of my live streams on any platform you're currently watching. In the description, you will find my link tree or a direct link to the Discord. Follow a few simple steps. You'll be greeted with an automated message letting you know that you've done all you need to do to receive notifications for when and where we go live. And if you would like, you could join the general chat or any of the more specific topic chats that I have available where all the hooligans are hanging out, having conversation 24 hours a day. Definitely check it out. For all you guys putting green zones with question marks in it, type in CDC green zone. You can find it right on their website. That's how they labeled it. If I refer to it any other way, who knows what is going to happen to my channel. Well, thanks for being here, Death Striker. Yep, Morningstar, you got it. Yep, JB, that's right. Cindy. I don't know about any blackout in Michigan. Happy Friday, Nate. What's up, Glimmer? Thanks for joining Odyssey. What's up, PMT? You're very active on Rumble. I constantly get notifications with your name on it. Look up green zones. I probably cannot say it without getting my YouTube channel banned. What's up, Debbie and everyone on Facebook? Look at that, 7 people watching on Facebook. That's our high score right now. 69 a drummer. If you can find that again, share it with me if you're on the Discord, or send it to me through email, because I'm trying to find more information about what's going on with the National Guard here in West Michigan. It's very difficult to find information. Most of what I'm seeing is just local people posting question marks, basically saying, oh, I spotted this, or I seen this, what's going on. Most of these people are oblivious to what's actually happening. Although it may appear that I might be popular, I am definitely not popular here in Michigan. Not in West Michigan anyways. So Tender, no, I did not watch that video yet. I was reading emails and articles. I receive so much stuff in a day that a lot of times when I wake up, I'm reading stuff that I received in the middle of the night. Miss Jamie, our leaders here, if you want to call them that, here in Michigan, they don't tell us nothing. They just point fingers and talk bad about their own people. That's basically all that happens. They don't give us any answers or information. They basically don't go live unless they got some new executive orders to tell us what to do. Yeah, I appreciate you, Edgar. Yeah, Olivia, Michigan is pretty rough. Thankfully, I live kind of in a more rural area, so I'm not that affected by it. Actually, you just reminded me. I'm thinking on Tuesday, sometime after 2 o'clock p.m., me and a couple buddies of mine are going to do a flag march. There's 3 different cities, small, very small cities, near where I live, and we just want to show our American pride. So we're gonna go and have a flag march. It's not organized very well, kind of last minute planning here, but I'm gonna try and do it, and I plan on live streaming the whole thing. Old man Walter, 20 minutes late. What's up, Sam? Thanks for being here. Hey, thanks, Indigo. I appreciate you, and happy Friday. Hey, thank you so much, Mason, for joining the membership program, and welcome to the family. You're officially a hooligan. Let's get some shout outs in. Thank you so much, Fiona, Gigi, and MD. I really appreciate the donations and the support. Thank you guys so much for being here. I will let you guys know more information as I get it worked out for the flag march. This first one will be just me and people I know. I don't know if anyone's going to see it and join us or how it's going to go. We're just really trying to show what we believe in and, you know, show people that there's still people out here that love America. But based on how that goes, if I schedule a second one, it will be orchestrated better. That way maybe some hooligans can join us, or people that want to make the trip out to West Michigan. We can all get together and do a march. I don't know where we would be able to legally just stand and hang out. Like a lot of times we watch on the live, people will be in a location. A lot of times when people are in a location, they've already got permission from someone on private property. Otherwise, they're like at courthouses and stuff like that, which is supposed to be public property. But I wouldn't really trust doing that in this area. I'm worried that we will have conflict if that happens, and I can't really afford to have conflict because I need to go live every day, and I can't do that from a jail cell. Even though I'm well within my rights to do it, that doesn't mean they won't arrest me and give me trouble for it. It would not be the first time I've been hassled and been incarcerated without actual reason and then released or bonded out, and they had to give me my money back because they were, full of nonsense. But I'm just not willing to deal with the hassle, so I figured a march on public sidewalk where they don't really have a reason to stop us should be fine. Yeah, soil tender, I would go talk to a clerk, except for you have to schedule appointments, you got to wear a mask, you got to show your card, you got to spread your butthole, and I'm just not willing to do that at this time. So I'm trying to keep it nice and easy for this first march, just so we can see how it goes. Come on, old man Walter Biden. Every time we start early, you show up late. That's awesome, Indigo. Thank you. Awesome, the shelf guy. If our time doesn't match up and you happen to go live, I will stream you when I get back home, and we will put you on the live and show your American support. PMT, I think you are correct. I think you are correct on that. Well, Debbie, it's provocative. It grabs attention. People know what you're talking about. You bring out the b-hole, people know. They're like, whoa, listen up. Thank you so much, PM's Real Talk, for joining the membership program, and welcome to the family. You're officially a hooligan. What's up, Newton? Thanks for being here. Yep, it is going pretty well today so far. How are you? Christ J. I don't want to disclose the location at this time, but it will be north of Muskegon and south of Manistee. Actually, with the flag march, it's going to be in 3 separate locations. We're going to march the main street of one area, drive to a second location, march the main street of that area, go to a third location, and march almost the whole main street of the third location. That's the plan anyways. I got battery packs all charged up. I went and got flag poles and all kinds of stuff yesterday. Ran to Walmart. Hopefully I have enough data to run the live stream. I've never ran a live stream from my phone. Expect technical issues and stuff like that, because you know how technology is, but I'm gonna do the best I can. The Mind Statters, thank you so much for joining the membership program, and welcome to the family. You're officially a hooligan. Jeff Donhauser, through Gary, Indiana. I would if I was closer to the Indiana border. I'm halfway up the state in Michigan on the west side. What's up, Scuba Steve? What's up, Mike? Deb, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. You never know. They could be trying to shut it down because I use the b-hole word, or who knows. Who knows? I can't even talk on Facebook. I post anything on Facebook, it immediately gets flagged. Janet, it will be Tuesday sometime after 2 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time, obviously in Michigan. Thank you so much, Scuba Steve, for joining the membership program, and welcome to the family. You're officially a hooligan. Ray, I hope you're kidding. Did they really cancel Biden's speech? I know they canceled his trip to Denver or wherever he was heading. Let me take a gander really quick. No, it's not canceled. It's not canceled yet anyways. Hey, thanks for being here, Rage Star. What's up, Nick? He's probably hanging out with Hunter out back in a can of Parmesan. Thank you, Shelty, for out here gifting subs on Twitch. I appreciate that. Glimmer. I love going into the White House YouTube just to dislike everything. It's so relaxing. You're awesome. PMT, I'm not sure what you mean. Hey, thank you so much, Edward, for your donation and your support. I really appreciate you. Yeah, I thought about that. Considering all the protesting and all the stuff that we've seen over the last year and a half, I've thought about maybe people trying to target us or follow us home and stuff. They don't want to do that. That's all I can say. They don't want to do that. The people I'm with, they're not like those sissy Antifa people. You go ahead. You can follow us home if you want to. It'd be the worst move you ever made. Could be the last one you ever made. I don't recommend it. Anybody that wants to cause us harm, you're going straight to the morgue. Hey, thank you so much, Whistler's wife. I really appreciate the donation and the support. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Cheryl Ann, for renewing your membership. I appreciate you, and you're already officially a hooligan. Got an eyelash in my eyeball. There's always something. You get live, you get in front of the camera, and you get like bugs tapping you in the face, get eyelashes on you. Gotta fix my nose ring, and everybody's like, why are you digging in your nose? It's just part of the job. Come on, old man Walter. You were late to speak on the event itself, and now you're late to your own meetings. Just crazy. John Costello. When I first seen old man Walter Biden, I just okay, so when the stuff happened that caused January 6th, you had to start becoming very particular on what you said and how you titled things on YouTube, because I was getting taken down for everything. So I pretty much don't call anybody by their actual name. I don't label anything by its actual name. And he looks just like Walter from Jeff Dunham and stuff. Now Jeff Dunham's like getting on board with all that stuff, but I swear I started that. You're welcome, Jeff Dunham. You're welcome for the free content, free material there. Thank you so much, 69 a drummer. Really appreciate the donation, the support. Yeah, I don't know. There's been articles coming out and saying stuff about 9/11. Besides the thing that ABC News or NBC News or whoever that was that put out that flyer saying, oh, anybody acknowledges 9/11, you're a threat, yada, yada, yada. After, 20 years of, never forget, we will remember, yada, yada. Now if you talk about it, oh, no, you're a threat. So expect false flags. And no, I couldn't imagine the Taliban supporting or celebrating it and stuff. And if they were, you would see it all over TikTok, because they're all over TikTok at this point. Oh, Anthony, I can't copyright it. That's Jeff Dunham stuff. Like, even if I twist it and stuff, you can't build your stuff off of someone else's stuff. And you can't do that and copyright it or not copyright it. It's all copyright infringement. The only reason I can use any of this stuff right now is because it's being used for educational, commentary, and news purposes. That's the only reason I can even do what I do, is because of the freedom of use. I have the link in the description if any of you are interested in freedom of use and how that all works. But yeah, no, I couldn't do anything about Jeff Dunham doing what he does. I mean, maybe he'd get mad at me because I got the picture in the corner, but I don't think he could do any more than send me a cease and desist. PM's real talk, yeah. In the Discord, I don't really tolerate that stuff. I don't care what people believe in and stuff like that. Of course, you're free to believe whatever you want, but people come in, they try and post that Q crap on Discord, and it's fine if you guys want to follow it. That's perfectly, fine. I don't care. But don't try and influence, me or anybody in the Discord. We used to just have people post all that stuff, but how long are you going to have that stuff not going to come true before you turn around and just leave it behind? So now in the Discord, people post that Q crap, and I'm like, don't do that, because we don't believe that stuff around here. Yeah, Mace Finger, old man Walter, he's probably getting the ins and outs of what he can and can't say, and how fast he's allowed to run. Could you imagine if he fell when he ran away and then he fell? Who knows what they would say about that? They would blame Trump. They'd be like, Trump showed up and tripped him. It was so fast you didn't even see it. All you seen was the fall. There's another insurrection. He caused an erection. Sonny, yeah. Celebrating Christmas means you're an extremist. Yep. Basically, according to that little flyer thing that they put out. So stupid. Yeah, Debbie, like almost every other third video is the Taliban on TikTok. It was like really popular for a while, but I think all the scenes of death has kind of got it to calm down. But it was really bad there for a second. They were all showing off their new pew pews and new vehicles and stuff, and dancing and hollering, and then shooting people and stuff like that came. Seraph, I don't really know how to respond to what you're saying. What's up, 10 man? Yeah, Scooby Steve. I keep seeing people say that. Like, oh, we got the Taliban over here on social media and stuff, but not Trump. At least you ain't got those mean tweets. I'm so active on Twitter right now. If you don't follow me on Twitter, you probably should. Even if you are on Discord, I post so much stuff on Twitter. I wish Trump was on Twitter. I'd be retweeting all that stuff. Yeah, Debbie, I wasn't on TikTok for a while either, but everybody around me kept sending me TikTok videos with people exposing articles, exposing things going on in specific areas, specific footage and stuff like that. So I just got on it. I don't post anything. I might start posting stuff, but I'm kind of mean. I don't know. That's why I don't post little videos and stuff, because I just say mean stuff. Like, did you guys hear about OnlyFans? They're now, I think October 1st, no longer accepting explicit content. They want DJs and music creators to get on there. Except nobody really pays music makers. Music's free thanks to the internet. So people who create music, you have to basically beg to make $1. The only people who really make money in the music industry are scam artists, really. People selling dreams. So I don't think that OnlyFans is going to be able to fix their image. Their branding is permanently tarnished. But I'm sure they made $1 billion off all those people on their platform. So they probably could care less if the platform gets shut down at this point. I know there's a lot of upset people I've seen all over the internet. They're like, oh no, what am I going to do? Well, there's a lot of places hiring. I know that. Redhead with dreads. So your Twitter's banned. If you get banned, does that mean you can't create another account? Like, are they banning your IP address? Because I know a lot of people have been banned on Facebook and banned on Twitter, but I've never been banned, like permanently banned. So I don't know if that means you can't create another account, or it doesn't feel worth it to create another account, or how any of that works. PMT, not really. I haven't really watched a lot of stuff on Rumble. I watch Salty Cracker on Rumble whenever he's not on YouTube, but that's about it. I'll have to look into it. John Costello. I haven't really looked for that. I will look at it next time I see that video. I see that video like 20 times a day at this point. I will check that out next time I see that video. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern time, I believe, there's going to be a Trump rally. I will not be able to cover it on YouTube or Facebook, but it will be on Odyssey, Twitch, and Rumble. So if you guys would like to check that out, I will put out notifications when it's time to go live. Probably will post updates earlier in the day tomorrow just to remind everyone. But we will be covering that 7 p.m. Eastern time. Hammerhead Fred. I've thought about making Hooligan Lives Matter shirts, but I don't want it to be clashing or even resembling any other Lives Matter organization. I'd prefer to just be more original, I guess. Like, not being rude to your comment, but I just don't want to cause conflict. I'd rather rub it in their face a different way. But I do have ideas for new images. I have a hooligan that helps me do the graphics at this point. So there should be some new stuff coming out soon. I want to do some pro-America stuff, some pro-2A stuff. Just new logos and stuff. I do have new stuff coming out. David, I would not be surprised if they were lying about Old Man Walter's location. I would not be surprised at all. Nobody likes that guy right now. Not even Cackling Harris. Honky Kong, you can find my merch on my link tree. It might still be in the description. I've kind of cleaned up the descriptions to only be on my link tree. But the link tree is linktr.ee/thegreatjeffmack, but it's also in the description. Syfy, yeah, I've heard speculation that Old Man Walter's a clone. I know that sounds really weird, but there's a couple rappers that were like really big, had a lot of eyeballs on them, and then they went to prison, and then when they got out, they look completely different. They sound similar, but not exactly the same. All of a sudden, their views are changed. Their the wording in their music is all changed and stuff. Like Eminem. Okay, remember Eminem disappeared for like 4 years, and then he came back and he looked all weird. And they said that he had like an overdose and it like changed his life. And he had like the Relapse albums came out, and then the Recovery albums came out, and then now look at him. Isn't that all really weird? How his rhyming changed, his voice changed, everything changed, including his appearance. And ever since he came back, he never snapped back into the old Eminem. I don't want to speculate on conspiracy theories, but that was the first time I had seen that, and a lot of people were just like thinking, oh yeah, it's from doing drugs and stuff like that. But what if he actually died from that overdose? What if something like that happened? Because when somebody has a platform and they have a voice that speaks to that many people, that's control. What does the government not like? They don't like having anyone on the platform with more control than them, with a voice bigger than theirs. And so that was the first time I witnessed it. But then like Gucci Mane, he got out of prison. He went into prison like 300 pounds. He came out like 140 pounds, and he's all buff and stuff now. And his face tattoos are all different and stuff. Talks about different stuff. Kodak Black, he just got out of prison. He looks completely different. It's because they all have a voice and people listen to them. I've thought the same thing about Joe Rogan. A lot of people listen to Joe Rogan, but all of a sudden he went exclusive on Spotify, and all his commercials make him sound like an idiot, and the people at Spotify don't like him at all. The employees are always threatening to quit and this, that, and the other. Now, I don't listen to a lot of Joe Rogan, but I wouldn't be surprised with a voice that big. Who knows? You just disappear for a minute and then all of a sudden you come back and you're different. I don't know. I don't really like to speculate, but it's really weird. So to say like Old Man Walter, who looked a lot different, if you watch old footage of him, he looks a lot different than he does now. Not just because he's older, but he looks a lot different. Like if you watch old videos of him, you know that big scary grin he's got, that like demonic looking child eating grin he has. It didn't look like that 20 years ago. Like, it's weird. That stuff is just weird. I mean, I don't necessarily know that they're clones, but plastic surgery and technology's come a long way. So it's just very strange to me. Hey, thanks for being here, Sharon. I appreciate you. Yeah, Witchy 12. He's got like a Joker grin. Big, scary grin. Yeah, Mark Hill, it's an issue. It's an issue. I don't want to put that stuff out there, but it's already out there. And I just figured we could talk about it while we wait on Old Man Walter, who's 49 minutes late to his own show. Well, let's see if this is still on the White House schedule. Yeah, it says so. It says his speech is supposed to start at 1 o'clock. Now it's 1:49. Yeah, Craig, he's probably getting wiped. Let's find the soundbite. That's always worthwhile. Oh, he's lucky. Who knows how loud it would be if I played it right now.
Good afternoon.
Wipe!
I've just met with the Vice President, Secretary Blinken, Secretary Austin, National Security Advisor Sullivan, and other members of the National Security Leadership Team in the Situation Room.
He's already slurring.
Ongoing efforts to evacuate American citizens, third country civilians, Afghan allies, and vulnerable Afghans. And I want to provide the American people with a brief update on the situation in Afghanistan. Since I spoke to you on Monday, we've made significant progress. We've secured the airport, enabling flights to resume, not just military flights, but civilian charters from other countries, and the NGOs taking out civilians and vulnerable Afghanis. And now we have almost 6,000 troops on the ground, including the 82nd Airborne, providing runway security, the Army 10th Mountain Division standing guard around the airport, and the 24th Marine Expeditionary Unit assisting the civilian departure. This is one of the largest, most difficult airlifts in history, and the only country in the world capable of projecting this much power on the far side of the world with this degree of precision is the United States of America. We've already evacuated more than 18,000 people since July and approximately 13,000 since our military airlift began on August the 14th. Thousands more have been evacuated on private charter flights facilitated by the U.S. government. These numbers include American citizens and permanent residents, as well as their families. It includes SIV applicants and their families, those Afghans who have worked alongside us, served alongside of us, gone into combat with us, and provided invaluable assistance to us, such as translators and interpreters. The United States stands by its commitment that we've made to these people, and it includes other vulnerable Afghans, such as women leaders and journalists. In fact, working in close coordination with the management of the New York Times, the Washington Post, and the Wall Street Journal, we have successfully evacuated all 204 of their employees in Afghanistan on U.S. military aircraft earlier this week. We've established the flow of flights, and we've increased the number of people we're moving out of the country. We paused flights in Kabul a few hours this morning to make sure we could process the arriving evacuees at their transit points. But our commander in Kabul has already given the order for outbound flights to resume. Even with the pause, we've moved out 5,700 evacuees yesterday, and we're working on a variety to verify that number of the Americans are still in country as we work on this, because don't have the exact number of people who are Americans are there, and those who may have come home to the United States. We want to get a strong number as to exactly how many people are there, how many American citizens, and where they are. Just yesterday, among the many Americans we evacuated, there were 169 Americans who we got over the wall into the airport using military assets. We're also facilitating flights for our allies and our partners, and working in close operational coordination with NATO on this evacuation. For example, we provided overwatch for the French convoy bringing hundreds of their people from the French embassy to the airport. These operations are going to continue over the coming days before we complete our drawdown. We're going to do everything that we can to provide safe evacuation for our Afghan allies, partners, and Afghans who might be targeted because of their association with the United States. But let me be clear. Any American who wants to come home, we will get you home. But make no mistake, this evacuation mission is dangerous. It involves risks to our armed forces, and it's being conducted under difficult circumstances. I cannot promise what the final outcome will be, or what it will be, that it will be without risk of loss. But as Commander-in-Chief, I can assure you that I will mobilize every resource necessary. And as an American, I offer my gratitude to the brave men and women of the U.S. Armed Forces who are carrying out this mission. They're incredible. And as we continue to work the logistics of evacuation, we're in constant contact with the Taliban, working to ensure civilians have safe passage to the airport. We are particularly focused on our engagements on making sure every American who wants to leave can get to the airport.
Negotiating with terrorists.
Where we have been seeing challenges with Americans, for Americans, we have thus far been able to resolve them. We've made clear to the Taliban that any attack on our forces or disruption of our operations at the airport will be met with swift and forceful response. We're also keeping a close watch on any potential terrorist threat at or around the airport, including from the ISIS affiliates in Afghanistan who were released from prison when the prisons were emptied. And because they are, by the way, and make everybody understand that the ISIS in Afghanistan have been the sworn enemy of the Taliban. I've said all along, we're going to retain a laser focus on our counterterrorism mission, working in close coordination with our allies and our partners, and all those who have an interest in ensuring stability in the region. Secretary Blinken is with me today, met this morning with our NATO allies in consultation about the way forward, so that Afghanistan cannot be used in the future as a terrorist base to attack the United States or our allies. For 20 years, Afghanistan has been a joint effort with our NATO allies. We went in together, and we're leaving together. And now we're working together to bring our people and our Afghan partners to safety. In the past few days, I've also spoken directly with the British Prime Minister, Mr. Johnson, Chancellor Merkel of Germany, and President Macron of France. We all agreed that we should convene, and we will convene, the G7 meeting next week, a group of the world's leading democracies, so that together we can coordinate our mutual approach, our united approach on Afghanistan and moving forward. We are united with our closest partners to execute the mission at hand. We've also discussed the need to work with the international community to provide humanitarian assistance such as food aid and medical care for refugees who have crossed into neighboring countries to escape the Taliban, and to bring international pressure on the Taliban with respect to the treatment of Afghan people overall, but including Afghan, particularly women and girls. The past week has been heartbreaking. We've seen gut-wrenching images of panicked people acting out of sheer desperation. You know, it's completely understandable. They're frightened, they're sad, uncertain what happens next. I don't think any one of us can see these pictures and not feel that pain on a human level. Now we have a mission to complete in Afghanistan. It's an incredibly difficult and dangerous operation for our military. We have almost 6,000 of America's finest fighting men and women at the Kabul airport. And we're putting their lives on the line, and they're doing it in a dangerous place to save other Americans, our Afghan allies, and citizens of our allies who went in with us. You know, I talk to our commanders on the ground there every single day, as I just did an hour or so ago. And I made it clear to them that we'll get them whatever they need to do the job. They're performing to the highest standard under extraordinarily difficult and dynamic circumstances. Our NATO allies are strongly standing with us, their troops keeping sentry alongside ours in Kabul, as is the case whenever I deploy our troops into harm's way. I take that responsibility seriously. I carry that burden every day, just as I did when I was vice president and my son was deployed to Iraq for a year. There'll be plenty of time to criticize and second guess when this operation is over. But now, I'm focused on getting this job done. I would ask every American to join me in praying for the women and men risking their lives on the ground in the service of our nation. As events evolve over the coming days, my team and I will continue to share the information and update the American people on exactly where things are. We'll use every resource necessary to carry out the mission at hand and bring to safety American citizens and our Afghan allies. This is our focus now. And when this is finished, we will complete our military withdrawal and finally bring to an end 20 years of American military action in Afghanistan. Thank you. May God bless you, our troops and our diplomats and all those serving in harm's way. And now I'll take questions. AP, Zeke Miller.
He looked down at the paperwork and then called for someone that wants to ask a question.
You promised to leave Afghanistan, but you also promised not to help to bring out those who helped America in its war effort. We've seen these heart-wrenching images at the Kabul airport of people trying to get there, say nothing of the people who can't get to that airport. You made the commitment to get American troops out, to get American citizens out. Will you make the same commitment to those who assisted in the American war effort over the last 20 years, number one? And then number two, what is your message to America's partners around the world who have criticized not the withdrawal, but the conduct of that withdrawal and made them question America's credibility on the world stage?
I have seen no question of our credibility from our allies around the world. I've spoken with our NATO allies. We've spoken with NATO allies, the Secretary of State. Our national security advisor has been in contact with his counterparts throughout the world and our allies, as has the general, I keep calling him a general, but my Secretary of Defense. The fact of the matter is, I have not seen that. As a matter of fact, the exact opposite I've gotten. The exact opposite thing is we're acting with dispatch. We're acting, committing to what we said we would do. Look, let's put this thing in perspective here. What interest do we have in Afghanistan at this point with al-Qaeda gone? We went to Afghanistan for the express purpose of getting rid of al-Qaeda in Afghanistan, as well as getting Osama bin Laden. And we did. Imagine, just imagine, if that attack, if bin Laden had decided with al-Qaeda to launch an attack from Yemen, would we ever gone to Afghanistan? Would there ever be any reason we'd be in Afghanistan? Controlled by the Taliban? What is the national interest of the United States in that circumstance? We went and did the mission. You've known my position for a long, long time. It's time to end this war. The estimates of the cost of this war over the last 20 years range from a minimum of $1 trillion to a think tank at one of the universities saying $2 trillion. That's somewhere between $150 million a day and $300 million a day. The threat from terrorism has metastasized. There's a greater danger from ISIS and al-Qaeda and all these affiliates in other countries by far than there is from Afghanistan. And we're going to retain an over-the-horizon capability that if they were to come back to be able to take them out, surgically move. So this is where we should be. This is about America leading the world. And all our allies have agreed with that. And by the way, before I made this decision, I was at the G7 as well as met with our NATO partners. And I told them all, every one of them knew and agreed with the decision I made to jointly end our involvement in Afghanistan. The first part of your question was, I can't remember now.
Would you commit?
Oh, really?
Would you make the same commitment to bring out Afghans who assisted in the war effort?
Yes, we're making the same commitment. There's no one more important than bringing American citizens out. I acknowledge that. But they're equally important almost is all those SIVs, we call them, who in fact helped us. They were translators. They went into battle with us. They were part of the operation. As well as we're also trying to get out as many NGOs, non-government organizations, women's organizations, et cetera. We're doing all we can. In the meantime, Secretary Blinken and I am going to be working with our allies to see to it that we can bring international pressure on the Taliban they're looking to gain some legitimacy. They're going to have to figure out how they're going to maintain that country. And there's going to be harsh conditions, strong conditions we're going to apply, and it will depend on whether they get help based on whether or not how and well they treat women and girls, how they treat their citizens. So this is just beginning on that score.
Stay past the 31st to make that happen, to bring all the Americans out, to bring those SIVs out?
I think we can get it done by then, but we're going to make that judgment as we go. Now, Justin Sink of Bloomberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. You just said that you would keep a laser focus on counterterrorism efforts, and that you don't see as great of a threat of terrorism from Afghanistan as other parts of the world. But if you and your administration so badly misassessed how quickly the Taliban would sweep through Afghanistan, and we no longer have an embassy there from which to run intelligence operations, how can you at all be confident of your assessment of the risk of terrorism and the ability of the U.S. to conduct over-the-horizon missions to keep it in check? Can you tell Americans that they're safe and will remain safe from terror attacks in Afghanistan?
I think you're comparing apples and oranges. One question was whether or not the Afghan forces we trained up would stay and fight in their own civil war they had going on. No one, I shouldn't say no one, the consensus was that it was highly unlikely that in 11 days they'd collapse and fall and the leader of Afghanistan would flee the country. That's a very different question than whether or not there is the ability to observe whether or not large groups of terrorists begin to accumulate in a particular area in Afghanistan to plot against the United States of America. That's why we retained an over-the-horizon capability to go in and do something about that if that occurs. But in the meantime, we know what's happened around the world. We know what's happening in terms of what's going on in other countries where there is a significant rise of terrorist organizations in the Middle East, in East Africa, and other places. And so the bottom line is we're dealing with those terrorist threats from other parts of the world and failed states without permanent military presence there. We have to do the same in Afghanistan.
Sir, just on that initial assessment, we learned over the last 24 hours that there was a dissent cable from the State Department.
Sure.
Saying that the Taliban would come faster through Afghanistan. Can you say why, after that cable was issued, the U.S. didn't do more to get Americans out?
All kinds of cables, all kinds of advice. If you notice, it ranged from this group saying that they didn't say it'd fall when it did fall, but saying that it would fall, to others saying it wouldn't happen for a long time and they'd be able to sustain themselves through the end of the year. I made the decision. The buck stops with me. I took the consensus opinion. The consensus opinion was that, in fact, it would not occur, if it occurred, until later in the year. So it was my decision. Now, my next is Stephanie Ramos, ABC.
Thank you, Mr. President. 2 questions for you. The military has secured the airport, as you mentioned, but will you sign off on sending U.S. troops into Kabul to evacuate Americans who haven't been able to get to the airport safely?
We have no indication that they haven't been able to get in Kabul through the airport. We've made an agreement with the Taliban thus far. They've allowed them to go through. It's in their interest for them to go through. So we know of no circumstance where American citizens are carrying an American passport are trying to get through to the airport. But we will do whatever needs to be done to see to it they get to the airport.
And one more, Mr. President. Last month, my colleague Martha Raddatz interviewed Abdul, an interpreter who was on the front lines with U.S. forces in Afghanistan. Overnight, we received a photo of Taliban militants coming to the door of his home, literally hunting him down. Thankfully, he was able to escape, but he is obviously still in mortal danger. What would be your message to Abdul, his wife, and his 3 young daughters?
We want you to be able to get to the airport. Contact us. We'll see whatever we can do to get you there. We've got to get you out. We are committed to deal with you, your wife, and your child, to get all 3 of you out of Afghanistan. That's the commitment.
Thank you, sir.
Meredith Lee of PBS NewsHour.
You mentioned just now using every resource available for evacuations. Why haven't you ordered the military to expand the security perimeter around the Kabul airport? Do you have any plans to do so, given that will likely require more U.S. troops? And are you considering rescue operations to recover Americans and Afghan allies stuck behind Taliban checkpoints?
The answer is yes to the last question. We're considering every opportunity and every means by which we could get folks to the airport. That's number one. Number two, the reason why we have not gone out and started and set up a perimeter way outside the airport in Kabul is that it's likely to draw an awful lot of unintended consequences in terms of people who, in fact, are not part of the Taliban. We've been in constant contact with the Taliban leadership on the ground in Kabul, as well as the Taliban leadership at Daho. And we've been coordinating what we were doing. That's why we were able, for example, how we got all of our embassy personnel out, how we got everyone out of the embassy safely. That was the distance. That's how we helped get the French out and out of their embassy. So the question remains, there will be judgments made on the ground by the military commanders at the moment, and that I cannot second guess each of those judgments to be made. But the idea of, again, let me get back to the fundamental point I made at the outset. When the decision was made by me that, and it was made some time ago, and I ran 4 presidents saying I wanted to get us out of Afghanistan. one of the things that is reality.
Spit it out.
Is people now say to me and to others, and many of you say it on air, that why did we have to move because no Americans are being attacked? Why did we withdraw those, why did we agree to withdraw 2,500 troops? No Americans are being attacked. As I said before, the reason they weren't being attacked was part of an agreement that Trump had made a year earlier.
I knew he was going to blame Trump. I called it.
He said, as long as there's no attack on Americans in that year period. Number one. Number two, the Taliban was taking large swaths of the countryside, north and south. None of the major areas, none of the major points of the capitals of each of these provinces. But they were all over the country. And the idea that if I had said on May the 2nd or 3rd, we are not leaving, we are staying, does anybody truly believe that I would not have had to put in significantly more American forces? Send your sons, your daughters, like my son was sent to Iraq, to maybe die? And for what? For what? So the only rational thing to do, in my view, was to set up and pre-position American forces for the purpose of evacuation, and the aircraft to pre-position those ahead of time so that we would be able to begin the process of evacuation of American citizens, SIVs, and others who helped us. The last point I'll make is this. Look,
Spit it out.
if we had decided 15 years ago to leave Afghanistan, it would have been really difficult. If we decided 5 years ago, if we continued the war for another decade and tried to leave, there's no way in which you'd be able to leave Afghanistan without there being some of what you're seeing now. But what we've done so far is we've been able to get a large number of Americans out, all our personnel at the embassy out, and so on. And thank God, so far, knock on wood, we're in a different position. Scott Detro, Scott.
His son would never be able to qualify for the military.
NPO.
What an idiot. I wish he would stop bringing that up.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to follow up on something you said a moment ago. You said that there's no circumstances where American citizens cannot get to the airport. That doesn't really square with the images we're seeing around the airport, with the reporting on the ground from our colleagues who are describing chaos and violence. Are you saying unequivocally that any American who wants to get to the airport is getting there and getting past the security barrier and to the planes where they want to go?
I thought the question was, how can they get through to the airport outside the airport? And the answer is, to the best of our knowledge, the Taliban checkpoints, they are letting through people showing American passports. Now, that's a different question when they get into the rush and crowd of all the folks just outside the wall near the airport. That's why we had to, I guess, was it yesterday or the day before, we went over the wall and brought in, how many? 169 Americans. So it is a process to try to figure out how we deal with the mad rush of non-Americans, those who didn't help, those who were not on the priority list, just any Afghan to be able to get out of the country. And so my guess is that no matter what, under what circumstances there's not a whole lot of Afghanis, there's a whole lot of Afghanis that just as soon come to America, whether they're any involvement with the United States in the past at all, rather than stay under Taliban rule or any rule. So what I was saying is that we have an agreement that they will let pass through the checkpoints that the Taliban control, let Americans through.
But given this, given the negotiations with the Taliban, the scenes that we're seeing, can you just fully explain why the plan wasn't to go ahead with these evacuations of both Americans and allies before the drawdowns began, before Bagram was closed, looking back several months? Because Whether it was now or several months from now, there seems to be a broad consensus that the Taliban would make these gains and these would be needed at some point.
Well, yeah, at some point. But the point was that although we were in contact with the Taliban and Doha for this whole period of time, that some point wasn't expected to be the total demise of the Afghan National Force, which was 300 persons. Let's assume the Afghan National Force had continued to fight and they were surrounding Kabul. Be a very different story. Very different story.
There's only 300 of them?
An overwhelming consensus was that they were not going to collapse. The Afghan forces, they were not going to leave. They were not going to just abandon and then put down their arms and take off. So that's what happened. Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Yeah, you better run away, dumpster fire. Don't trip and fall. They'll be blaming Trump for it.
Why do you continue to trust their pledges, Mr. President?
One more question, Mr. President, please.
Wait a minute. I have a question. Hold on. Just a moment. What an idiot. The big question is, why didn't they pull all these people out before the military left, instead of having the military leave, leaving all these Americans behind, and now we're sending military back there to bring all these people out? How come nobody asked that question? Oh yeah, it probably wasn't allowed. Kind of like when he adjusted that guy's question. The guy asked a question, he's like, wait. That's not what you're supposed to ask. According to my notes here, you're supposed to be asking this. You're getting off script, and we're not allowed to do that around here. What a dumpster fire. My goodness. Oh, what an idiot. And then he keeps bringing his son up like his son would qualify for a hopscotch tournament. Come on now. They must have been on that Parmesan, I'm telling you. He showed up like he was drunk. He was slurring his words like he was intoxicated. Guy needs a breathalyzer test. Just insanity. That stuff is insanity. You ever seen an elected official as high as the president basically get chased out like that? Goodness. What will happen next? Every time a huge lie or just a stammer fell out of his face, Caitlin Harris had to look at the floor. Couldn't even pretend. She was getting out of character there. I don't know. I don't think there's much more time of this. They're going to have to make some changes. People aren't falling for it anymore. Everything he said was false. Everything he said, every point he made was false. National or international allies losing faith in America as far as a superpower. Yeah, they have. It's very clear. You can hear them speak about it. You can watch the videos. You don't have to even read the news articles. You can watch them talk about how they're losing faith in America as a superpower, but not according to old man Walter. I mean, basically everything. Every single statement he made was false. What an idiot. What an idiot. And that's tough to watch. If you're a part of the Discord and you've been a part of the conversation for the last week, it is tough to watch that stuff. We are very informed at this point. Maybe he should contact us. We'll get him up to date because he obviously has no idea what's going on around here. What an idiot. Let's get some shout outs in. Thank you so much, Edward. Whistler's wife, 69 a drummer, Mark Hill, 2 Feathers, Soloso, Ebros, Brian, RV Sarah, and Mark Hill again. Thank you guys so much for your donations and your support. I really appreciate all of you. Let's see. Want to make sure I didn't miss any memberships. Thank you so much, Cheryl, for joining the membership program, and welcome to the family. You're officially a hooligan. So yeah, this guy is not fit for office. There's no reason he should be there. It's obvious that they want him there. It's obvious that he's selected. Otherwise, they wouldn't be writing scripts for him. This guy had a teleprompter, and he had it all written out in front of him. What an idiot. Good Lord. Anyways, thank you guys so much. Really appreciate all of you for sitting here and watching this circus with me. You guys are super awesome. Big shout out to everyone that made donations, joined the membership program, or purchased any merch. I really appreciate all of you, and I would not be able to do this without you, so thank you guys so much. If you're new, please follow or subscribe or whatever you have to do in order to be connected to the platform you are currently watching. Please help us grow and spread the word. We're out here telling the truth and showing it as it is. This is uncensored and unfiltered, and we don't have scripts here. I don't have a teleprompter or nothing. I'm just so jealous of Walter Biden's team of writers he's got. Wish I had something like that. No, I don't. I like keeping it real, and I appreciate all of you guys. You guys are super awesome. Please join the Discord if you're not already a part of it. I think you will be satisfied with what you find. Pretty much on a daily basis at this point, people are just saying how good it feels to be around like-minded individuals where you can speak openly and not be censored, not be deleted, not have somebody come and drop 100, laughing emojis under your comments or come fight with you about it. We all feel the same over there, and we're all in this together. So definitely join the conversation on the Discord. And if you're not interested in partaking in the conversation, at least join the Discord so you never miss a notification for when we are live. There's no algorithm on Discord, so when I alert everyone gets the notification unless you turn your notifications off. So please join the Discord. So thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate all of you. I'm not sure what else is going to happen, but it's Friday, so it's it's usually busy. We will see how it goes. But until the next live, stand tall, shine bright, and that's a wrap.